All right, so now to talk about Uplevel's 3.0 Dynamic DNS release. We're now featuring a Dynamic DNS service, both either our own or a third-party vendor's if you're using either. This means you can now go in and set dynamic DNS services directly on the gateway and never have to worry about a changing IP address again. You'll notice now whenever you go in to configure a customer's site, there's now an IP and DNS option down in the left-hand pane here for any particular customer. You can click on that guy and motion up to the DNS tab up at the top. This will bring you to the 3 different DNS options located in the gateway, the very first being the dynamic DNS option. From here, if you click on the dynamic DNS, you'll notice that you have a drop-down menu of different options, first being no dynamic DNS. We do not at all require a dynamic DNS service, so if you don't want to have a dynamic DNS, you're not at all required to. We will always monitor the gateway, and things like site-to-site VPN or remote access VPN will work the same way with or without a dynamic DNS service. If you would like to have a dynamic DNS service, you're more than welcome to select any of these 3 options. Us, obviously, with Uplevel being the dynamic DNS server, that's totally fine. Just click save. We'll assign you a dynamic DNS name. That obviously will not change, and that'll allow you to always get back to this site DNS name as opposed to IP address. If you're already using a third-party vendor, great. You can go in and select either DNS or no IP. You are required at that point to type in a username and password. From there, we'll then update those third-party agents as needed. So for instance, with no IP, you'll notice that I have a no IP DNS. You'll notice I have a no IP DNS name already configured. This is going to be my host name over here. And the target IP address is something other than my public IP address. So you'll notice if I motion back to the gateway, my public IP address is currently this 136 value over here, as opposed to the 67 value that the dynamic DNS name is currently set to. Now, if I come into this DNS option and select no IP. So as soon as I have all that information typed in, I can then click save. And this will automatically update no IP with the correct public IP address of the gateway, both when the initial save button is hit, as well as moving forward on an ongoing basis. Will then act as the agent and update the dynamic DNS service to always let it know what the public IP address of the gateway is. So if I motion back up to no IP and hit refresh on the page, you'll now see that my IP address has changed to that 136 value. That is the public IP address of my gateway right now. For any questions, don't hesitate to ever reach out to us at support@uplevelsystems.com. We're more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Thanks so much.